I'm sitting here stuck in traffic on a drawbridge. It goes up, like this. It's the only one we have in the whole state. Of course, I get stuck on it. But this is the video that I wanted to do on why I chose the VMP Gen 3R over getting a Kenny Bell or a Whipple, and the different variations of each one of those. And this is my own personal preference for why I did this. There's good and bad points for every single blower, no matter what you want to do. But this is my reasons and my list for why I chose this particular blower over the rest of them. I've said in multiple videos in the past that I eventually want this to be a quality show car. For what I want to do to it, it's going to take a lot more than what I have done to it right now. I mean, I want the engine bay to be completely immaculate. It's going to take a long time to get it there. But also one of the aspects of getting a blower is I wanted something that really appealed to me and how it looked underneath the engine. And when it comes to the VMP, I just personally really like how the VMP blowers look on these cars. I'm not saying there's anything bad about the Whipples or about the Kenny Bells. I just particularly like the looks of the VMP more. So that was one of the factors for me right off the bat before I started looking at performance numbers and all that stuff. Now, I did look into buying the VMP 2.3. I also looked into the Whipple 2.3. But when I was looking at the VMP 2.3, unfortunately you cannot buy those new anymore. The Whipple 2.3 you can, but VMP discontinued the 2.3. Now, you can still get the 2.3 VMP on a lot of the used sites and stuff like that. There are a lot of Facebook groups that sell these used, pop up on Marketplace from time to time. And I started following the prices on these, and I was coming up with prices of over $3,000 for a used blower that you knew nothing about. Now, chances are all those that were for sale, absolutely nothing wrong with them. Bolted on any Terminator Cobra and they would 100% fine. But when you're talking about dumping $30,000 into something, you also want to be completely sure. The 2.3 would have fit this build really well. Everything that I wanted it to be, and for where I want this car to be power-wise and everything else. I just didn't want to pay over $3,000 for a used blower that realistically is a lot less efficient than the 2.65R that I bought currently. So I was pretty much set on wanting to buy a new blower. I wanted to put something on this car where I was the only one to ever own it, and it was only on this car, and I knew the entire 100% history of it. Because it's a big investment. It's probably the second biggest investment other than buying the car that you can do to one of these. I mean, there's all kinds. You could do like crazy suspension, and T56 Magnum is not cheap. Those are like over $3,000 for one of those. So, but when it comes just to the pure power aspect, you're not going to spend anything more than an upgraded blower. So it was really important to me that I bought something that was new. So that excluded the 2.3 VMP. I didn't want the Whipple 2.3, I just didn't like the looks of it. That's just me. Some people may love it, it's completely fine. I just don't like it. No one should be upset because I don't like what they like. It's just, some people don't like the color blue. That's just how it goes. So then that basically leaves what are the options that I was seriously considering. It basically came down to the VMP 2.65 and the Whipple 2.9. Performance-wise, both are incredible. They will both put out really big numbers, impressive numbers. They'll make boost, you'll make power. So I don't really see what the whole pissing contest is about Whipple and VMP. So it really wasn't the power aspect between the two that I was worried about. I'm not looking at squeezing out the absolute last possible horsepower out of this that I can get. I'm okay with if a Whipple 2.9 with the same exact build as I have pulls 15 or 20 more real horsepower. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm not going to say, oh my god, I made the wrong choice. The VMP is still going to spin, make boost, and make a crap ton of power, just like a Whipple will. So there's really no difference between which one you really end up going with. But when it comes to what were the major reasons for why I picked the VMP over Whipple? Oh, and I didn't even, before I get to that, let me talk about Kenny Bell. Nothing against Kenny Bell, I just don't like it. I don't think, performance-wise, I don't think they're bad or anything like that. I just don't like the blower. I don't like how Kenny Bells look either. I just don't. They look like toasters sitting on the top of the engine. And no offense to anyone that has one. I personally know people that have Kenny Bells, and I'm just poking fun at you. It's all in fun. I'm not like really serious, but I just don't like how they look. I just really love the VMP. So now back to what were the main reasons why I got the VMP over the Whipple 2.9. One major thing was, of course, the looks. It is my favorite looking blower with VMP. The next thing would be it does have the removable elbow. While it's not completely a deal breaker as far as it being more difficult to change spark plugs on a Whipple, it's not really that big of a deal, but just having that, it's like, come on Whipple, why can't you just put a friggin' removable elbow on your blower? I don't get it. Other people have said the same thing. Just put a stupid removable elbow on it. It's so much easier when it comes to doing anything on the car around that area, and I don't know, it's just the convenience aspect of it is that I really appreciated that Whipple when that VMP went with a removable elbow for their blowers. And I talked with multiple people. I contacted Whipple, I contacted VMP both through email, sent basically the same message. This is what I have, this is where I want to be with the car power wise, and asked a bunch of questions. They were both very helpful, both got back to me in a timely manner. In the end, I just decided to go with the VMP. In all honesty, I think the most common response, if someone says I have an 0304 Cobra and I want 600 to 650, 680 at the wheels, what blower do I get? I think the most common answer is going to be the Whipple 2.9. A lot of people run them. They are proven amazing blowers, and that is why I didn't get it. Now you may be thinking, that makes zero sense. Why would you not go with a proven platform that a lot of people have dyno numbers on and performance numbers on, and how well they are? It comes down to building this car for a few reasons. Of course, myself. And I'm also building it for my channel. How exciting is another Whipple Terminator Cobra build on YouTube going to be? It's been done multiple times. If you look up dyno number videos for a VMP Gen 3R on YouTube, you will basically find jack shit. It's not because it's a bad blower. I just don't think there are a lot of people on YouTube that have done this build before. Justin SVT has a VMP 2.6 on his, not the R version, the regular 2.6. And he put out really good numbers on 91 octane with that blower. But other than that, if you can go to specific Facebook groups, you will see more VMP dyno numbers and stuff like that. I'm in one particular group. It's dedicated just to the VMP Gen 3, Gen 3R, and a lot of dyno numbers in there for cars that have been run. But those are in Facebook groups, and video done on a phone posted to Facebook is not a YouTube link. I wanted to build something that was going to be interesting. I wanted to build something where it would add a little bit more to the channel and a little bit more excitement to it. I just think that doing a VMP Gen 3R build on this car will attract more people and more interest than doing a Whipple 2.9 or Whipple 3.0 build on this car. And I'll give it to Whipple. I think there are more Whipple Cobras out there than there are VMP cars. And There's nothing bad about VMP. I comment on a lot of their videos that they put out, and Justin Starkey, the owner of VMP, he responds to people really well. I posted a picture of my Gen 3R in the Gen 3R Facebook group for the Terminators. Justin Starkey liked it. I mentioned how I bought this blower in a video that they recently dropped after I got it, and they said thank you for the support, for supporting us and stuff like that. I mean, I think the people at VMP are really good, down-to-earth people. Some people have a different opinion of them because of things that have happened in the past. I think the truth for what really happened and all the controversy that happened with VMP lies somewhere in the middle. I think a lot of people blow things out of context, so I didn't hold any of that stuff against them when it came to buying one of their products. Have you ever tried going over speed bumps in a car that's lower than what it should be? It's not fun. And I forgot that this road has speed bumps in the middle of it because it's like a really crowded neighborhood and people usually speed through here a lot. And I'm trying not to leave my exhaust system behind me somewhere because boiler stingers are not cheap. In the end, I think we're lucky that we have cars that are this old where we have that many options for performance for them. You have 3 big name companies that all support this platform: Kenny Bell, VMP, and Whipple. You're not going to be able to put multiple options of forced induction on any platform of car that you want. It's not generally supported when you get down the road of cars that are getting to be aged like this. And I think that the VMP Gen 3R might be the last push for these cars. I don't know if Whipple's going to come out with anything else for these cars at some point. If VMP will revise the Gen 3R or come out with something else. VMP did have the 3100 that they were going to release, and they decided not to because honestly they said it wasn't performing the way they wanted, and that's good on them to scrap all the time, money, and R&D into a project and not put it out because it wasn't performing the way they wanted, versus false advertisement and pushing the product out and then just, ignoring all the controversy that would have come around it. In the end, between Whipple and VMP, neither one of them's the wrong choice. I would have been happy with either blower for what they're gonna do performance-wise. It was just the minor differences with the VMP that made the better choice for me. And you're always going to have the die-hard people that are Whipple the world. Nothing is better than Whipple. You made the wrong choice. You should have put a Whipple on it. But the best thing about me putting a VMP on my car is that all the people that are saying that I made a mistake and should have gone Whipple, they didn't pay for it. I paid for it. So you don't have to worry about it. I realized too that I didn't say anything bad about the VMP Gen 3R. So the only bad thing I can really say about it that I know from the onset is the same thing with the VMP 2.6 non-R, is the fact that you do have to bang the crossover tube for the coolant in order to get it to fit, just because of how big the case is. You don't have to do any of that with the Whipples, where you do have to with the VMP. So that is one negative about them. But from what I've seen, there's no adverse effects from doing that. It's behind the crossover tube. You're never really going to see it. And I'm going to get a powder coater at some point anyway, so it doesn't even really matter. So it wasn't a big concern to me. I wasn't that concerned about it. I think the fact that you have to bang the crossover tube as a negative, but then get the positive of having the removable elbow, it's pretty much a washout as far as that goes, as when you make a direct comparison to the Whipple. But if you have a Terminator Cobra with a stock blower on it and you want to get an aftermarket one, let me know which one you're looking at and which one you're considering. This video is most likely going to drop before my dyno video, So I'm saying all this without any bias as far as what the numbers are going to come out as. I'm going to be happy with the blower. I just know I am. I know other people that are running this blower that I've been talking with, and they said you're just going to absolutely love this thing. And I can't wait to get it on. So when this drops, the car is going to be in the shop. It's going to be getting worked on, getting everything put on, the fuel system and the VMP getting put on it. I'm hoping it doesn't take too long. The shop is extremely busy, and I'm hoping that they can piecemeal it in between other stuff and get it done sooner, because I was looking at a 2-month wait in order to bring the car in and get it put on. And as many of you know, I live in the Northeast. Summer is very short up here. Being the beginning middle part of May, I didn't want to wait 2 months to get the blower put on. So I'm hoping that once it's in the shop, I'm looking at like a 1 month turnaround, I hope. Maybe 6 weeks, something like that, before I get it back. Of course, it all depends on how busy they are and how much downtime they have to work on it. But with that said, if there's a lapse in content, usually I try to release a video not quite every 2 weeks, a little bit in between, more than a week, less than 2. But if you see a lapse in content a little bit, I'm just waiting to get the car back. I have a lot of stuff coming out once the car is in the shop, so there's not a gap in content. But if it's in there longer than anticipated, then there's not too much I'll be able to do about that. If this is your first time watching, make sure you sub and hit the bell notification, because you don't want to miss the dyno video once everything is on the car and it gets down to the dyno. That should be a real exciting video, and I can't wait to have that one come out, or to film it and to see what this car does for numbers. And as usual, thank you very much for watching. A lot more stuff on the Cobra coming up this summer. We're just into the start of summer now. It's like 70 degrees today. I love it. I've been waiting for this forever. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. More stuff coming really soon. Big dyno video, don't want to miss it. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.